Hello students, good morning to all. In this video, we'll be discussing about the interhalogen compounds, interhalogen ions. We have already done the interhalogen compounds. We are doing the halogen family out of p block elements and we are done with everything. This is the last video out of this p block elements, or we can say this chapter. It is the last video for this chapter. So the last, or we can say the second last topic is interhalogen ions and polyhalides. In addition to neutral interhalogen compounds, which we have already discussed, a large number of interhalogen cations, anions, and polyhalide ions are known. These are formed by the self-ionization of some interhalogen compounds as shown here. So these are the self-ionization reaction of some interhalogen compounds. Like here, ICl3 is getting ionized to give ICl2 positive and ICl4 negative. BRF3 is undergoing self-ionization to BRF2 positive and BRF4 negative. Polyhalides, the most common polyhalide is I3 negative. For the first time it was obtained via the it is generally obtained, or for the first time it was observed when I2 got dissolved, which is generally not possible to dissolve in water. I2 got dissolved in the aqueous solution of Ki. Due to the formation of this Ki3, that is I3 negative anion is formed there, due to which I2 get dissolved in water. So for a given cation, symmetric interhalogen anions are more stable than unsymmetric, and stability increases with increase in size of the central atom. So the stability of these polyhalides or the interhalogen anions or the cations, for a given cation, the anion, that is the anion which is more symmetrical and which is having bigger central atom, is going to be more stable for a given cation. We'll be discussing few structures of few interhalogen anions. That is, first one is ICl2 negative. Here we can calculate the value of Z, which we have calculated from half multiplied by number of valence electrons present in the central element, that is iodine, where valence electron is 7, plus 2, plus 1 for the negative charge, minus any positive charge. There is no positive charge, so it is going to be 0, and plus 2 for the number of monovalent elements present. So total is making it is 10 by 2, that means 5. So the hybridization which comes out from using this formula is sp3d hybridization. So here this iodine is having 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Here it is 2s2, it is 2p3, and is having 1 unpaired electron in the excited state, and it is going to react in its ground state. So it is getting 2 electrons. So it is getting 1 electron from the Cl and other 2 electrons, that is a full pair of electrons from Cl negative, to form ICl2 negative anion, and 3 lone pairs are present in the structure, that is 3 lone pairs are here. Once the value of Z comes out to be 5, then we'll have to see how many bond pairs are present. As we can see, there are 2 chlorines with 1 iodine, so 2 bond pairs are there. Then there must be 3 lone pairs, that is 5 minus 2 is 3. So 3 lone pairs, so we are not required to promote any electron to any excited state, as the requirement is of just 1 unpaired electron and 1 vacant orbital. So the hybridization is going to be sp3d, and the structure, or we can say the geometry, is going to be trigonal bipyramidal, and the shape is going to be linear. This is ICl4 negative. Here also Z comes out to be 6. Iodine, this is the ground state electronic configuration. 6 means there are 4 bond pairs, that means 2 lone pairs are there. In the ground state there are 3 lone pairs, so we'll be promoting 1 electron to the d orbitals. So 3 unpaired electrons and 2 lone pairs. 2 lone pairs will remain there, and 3 unpaired electrons and 1 empty orbital will take part in the hybridization, and the hybridization is going to be sp3d2, and 3 chlorine will be contributing 1 electron each, and the chloride ion will be contributing a pair of electrons in the vacant d orbital. So we'll get the formation of ICl4 negative with hybridization of sp3d2, and the shape is going to be square planar. This is all about the interhalogen cations and anions, or we can say interhalogen ions and the polyhalides. Mainly the structures are important, the hybridizations are important. Next we have to discuss, this is the last topic of this whole chapter, that is compounds of sulfur and nitrogen. A number of cyclic and chain compounds are known for sulfur and nitrogen. Best known compound out of this is S4N4. It serves as starting material for a number of SN compounds. It can be prepared from S2Cl2 or SCl2, that is sulfur dichloride and disulfur dichloride. When it is reacted with ammonia in the warm atmosphere in the presence of non-ionizable solvent, we get the formation of S4N4 along with the formation of ammonium chloride. This S4N4 is an orange-yellow solid, crystalline solid with melting point of 178 degrees Celsius. It is kinetically stable in air but is endothermic. The formation of this S4N4 is endothermic with respect to its elements. So delta H formation is around 460 plus minus 8 kilojoule per mole, and it explodes to give elemental forms, that is sulfur, S8 and nitrogen. When heated or struck, it gets converted into its elemental reactants, that is sulfur and nitrogen, with the expulsion of large amount of heat. That is, a reverse reaction is exothermic in nature. It is insoluble in water and unreactive also, but it undergoes hydrolysis when it is reacted with an alkali, that is NaOH, with the breakage of ring. S4N4 reacts with alkali to produce sodium thiosulfate and sodium sulfite. These reactions of S4N4 are very important, that what happens when it reacts with alkali, what happens when it reacts with silver fluoride. When it reacts with silver fluoride in the presence of CCl4, there is a formation of an fluorinated products, that is S4N4 F4, or which further when heated to 300 degrees Celsius gets converted to SNF. With excess of sulfur, when it is reacted with excess sulfur at 100 to 120 degrees Celsius under pressure, it yields S4N2. This is an other important compound of sulfur and nitrogen, that is S4N2. S4N4 undergoes reduction with SnCl2 in presence of methanol. It gets reduced to give this product, and SnCl2 gets oxidized to give SnCl4. This reduction takes place in the presence of methanol and with SnCl2 as reducing agent. Hydrogens are supplied from the methanol. S4N4 on vaporization under reduced pressure when passed through silver wool. When the vapors of this S4N4 compound are passed through silver wool at 250 degrees Celsius and under 1 mmHg pressure, we get colorless crystalline solid, that is S2N2. We get the formation of another compound of Sn, which is S2N2. This is an important compound of sulfur and nitrogen. This is the third compound which we are discussing so far for SN out of SN compounds. This is colorless crystalline solid which when heated at 25 degrees Celsius polymerizes with metallic look, that is polymerizes to SNX. This S4N4 next is when reacted with chlorine, it undergoes oxidation to S3N3Cl3, that which is called as trithiazyl trichloride, which when heated to 100 degrees Celsius gets converted to the monomer, that is SNCl, which when reacts with S2Cl2, that is the starting material for the synthesis of S4N4, give this ionic compound, that is S3N2Cl positive, Cl negative. S4N4 also undergoes bromination in the presence of CCl4 to give NSBrX. This is also a polymeric compound which is bronze colored crystals. The last property is S4N4 acts as Lewis base due to the presence of lone pair on nitrogen, and it forms a duct with many metal halides which act as Lewis acids. These are the Lewis acids with which it acts as Lewis base, and the formation of a duct is there. So this is all about the reactions of S4N4. Next is the structure of S4N4, and this is the structure of N4N4. It is having a cage-like cradle-shaped structure where nitrogens are present. If we look at the structure in the 3 dimension, we can see that nitrogens are forming a square. These are present as square in a plane, and sulfur atoms are present in the distorted tetrahedral arrangement, 2 above and 2 below the plane. So joining each sulfur is connected to 2 nitrogens, and in this way it forms a cradle shaped structure. So here the SN bond length is 1.60 angstrom, which is less than the sum of their covalent radii, that is, it is shorter than the single bond length. So there is some double bond character which predicts the presence of extensive delocalization due to p pi and d pi, p pi orbitals of nitrogen and d pi orbitals of sulfur. Further, the SS bond distance here in this structure is 2.58 angstrom, which is bigger than the single bond SS bond distance, which is 2.08, and lesser than the van der Waals radius of SS bond, that is 3.30. So it lies somewhere in between the van der Waals and single bond. So it is having a weak bond in between its sulfur, that is, which is having a bond length of 2.58. These bond angles have been mentioned here. So it is having a cradle shaped cage-like structure. This is all about the structure of S4N4. Next compound to be discussed is polythiazyl, that is polymer of SNX. So it is prepared from S2N2, which can be prepared from silver. This reaction we have already discussed, the synthesis of S2N2. So when this is polymerized, this reaction we have already discussed that when it is polymerized, this colorless crystalline solid, when heated at 25 degrees Celsius, it undergoes polymerization and it is having a metallic luster. The compound is called polythiazyl, that is SNX. It is golden bronze with electric conductance similar to that of metals. It is highly conducting in nature. Next we have its structure. It is having superconductor properties. It behaves as superconductor at 0.26 Kelvin, and it is more stable than its starting material, that is S2N2. It is when it is heated to 240 degrees Celsius, it decomposes readily. It is having a planar chain like structure which lies parallel to each other. Here this is the way how nitrogen and sulfur are connected to each other, and these are present as parallel chains where SS bond distance is bigger than the van der Waals radius of SS bond. And the conductance in this conductance of this polymer is due to the presence of pi electron delocalization along these long chains. So the properties, or we can say the reactions of S4N4 and the structure of both SNX and S4N4, the synthesis of polythiazyl, the synthesis of S2N2, the synthesis of S4N4, these are some reactions, and the Lewis base character of S4N4. These reactions are very important. You must know how to write these reactions and you must memorize them. There is no other way these can be understood. Just you will have to practice by writing these reactions. These have to be memorized as written, and the structure you must practice how to draw the cradle shaped structure. the structure of these interhalogen compounds, that is the hybridization, shapes, geometry. These are important from the point of view of exams. So this is all about the only topic which I have left, which we are left with out of the P block, is the silicates. This topic we have already covered in our physical classroom along with P block unit 1. So I'll not be covering this topic in the videos. So that is it for today. Thank you so much and all the best to you.